Hi, good afternoon. What a beautiful group of memories of past Erskine Awards. Really brings a tear to my eye to see how we were just a year ago together, hugging, celebrating. So we are all sort of on our own today, except I brought a friend with me. I am Roberta Bryan. I'm the current president of the YWCA of Central Massachusetts, and I welcome you all to the Katharine Erskine Awards. And I'm here with my friend Justice Ginsburg, accompanying me today, and we pay tribute to her as well as these 5 other women that we're here to celebrate today. So welcome. Thank you all. And there are many of you out there, none of whom I can see. But thank you all for coming. I'm told that Senator Harriet Chandler is here today. Thank you, Senator, for your consistent support to the YWCA and your presence here today. I am delighted to open the YWCA's first ever virtual Tribute to Women event. Please let me reiterate, first ever and virtual, because while I have the utmost trust in our behind-the-scene team, led by Gina McConnell, it's technology. So we have taken every precaution to minimize and avoid any glitches. But should they happen, bear with us, and we will straighten it out. We are streaming on Facebook Live today, so you can post a comment at any time and give a shout out to a favorite past recipient, many of whom we saw in that beautiful slideshow, or ones that you will meet today. Today, we honor 5 local women for their professional and community accomplishments with the Katharine Erskine Award. This award is bestowed upon these women because they embody the qualities the YWCA seeks to instill in all women and girls, such as a commitment to social and racial equity and the desire to serve as role models and mentors for future generations of women leaders. Your presence here today supports each award recipient's efforts to create positive change in our communities and further the YWCA's mission of eliminating racism and empowering women. And your financial contributions directly support the YWCA women and girls. Thank you for joining us and contributing. Well, this year, we cannot meet with friends and family in the historic Mechanics Hall as we saw. It is important to note that this is still a celebration, and we are so proud to share this time with everyone who's joining us in our new virtual world, who I personally hope this is a temporary thing. As we gather to honor these incredible women, I just want to emphasize the reason behind the nominations. To be nominated, the applicant must demonstrate a commitment to social and racial equality and the desire to serve as role models. Demonstration of a visible and impactful commitment to social and racial equality. I want us to just think about what those words mean, social and racial equality. With our current status of our country, what does it mean to commit to social and racial equality? What does it mean to be a role model? Evidence shows that the most effective way to create change is through education. Education can take the form of protests, yard signs, book clubs, racial justice training, and maybe, most importantly, living the characteristics you want to see in others. This year, the common theme seems to be that change is harder than ever. But I would counter that this year, we have the eyes and ears of the world focused on our collective efforts to affect change. This year, maybe because of the pandemic, we as a society are focused on issues that the YW works on every day. In one of the most divisive times in history, in one of those times where our rights as women are in jeopardy, I applaud these 5 women for their courage to stand up for their convictions, for being public in their practice, and for being leaders. Social progress is not inevitable. It must be fought for. I can say that in my brief presidency to date, it has been a humbling one. I learn every day about the things I do not have to experience, about the things I do not have to think about how long it takes for change. Prior to my YW indoctrination, I would have said to you that I am tired of waiting for change. I have been waiting for change for a mere 4 years, and I am frustrated. I cannot imagine waiting for decades, for generations. I cannot imagine my need for change to be a matter of life and death. The least I can do is vote for change and fund organizations like the YW to affect change every day in the form of support for working mothers, quality childcare that is fair and equitable, clean and safe housing for women in transition, and programs for youth, the future of our country. If you support the work of these 5 award recipients today, support the YWCA in the form of a donation and vote as if your life depends on it. In these unprecedented times, the YWCA has had to reimagine its fundraising events that bring together the community to raise awareness and needed funds for the agency. The Tribute to Women is the YWCA's largest fundraising event. We could not provide all our programs and services without the generous support of our presenting sponsors, Hanover Insurance Group, Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare, National Grid, and Penta Communications. I'd also like to thank our table sponsors, Fidelity Bank and Quinsigamond Community College, for their support of this event. Thank you all very much. Typically, at our Tribute to Women event, when we are in Mechanics Hall, we would have had many opportunities to donate. Cards at each table, a door prize table, volunteers walking around. Today, we must rely on your generosity with a splash of technology. Throughout the event, we will be showing a QR code that you can scan with your phone to bring to the donation page. At the conclusion of today's program, as an additional reward for your support, we will be drawing the name of 3 individuals from all those who contribute to the event to win one of 3 door prizes. The door prizes are, and there's a theme, see if you can figure this out, 1 annual deluxe fitness membership to the YWCA, 6 one-hour personal training sessions, or 1 week of summer camp and splash party. All have a value of $360, and all are to help us burn off the COVID pounds. Since the first Tribute to Women event was held in 1994, 117 women have been presented with the Katharine Forbes Erskine Award. I want to thank those who nominated this year's pool of candidates and brought to light another great group of women, and also thank the judges who had a difficult job of selecting this year's recipients. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge all the past Erskine Award recipients who've joined us for today's live presentation. Please let us know you're with us by sending us a Facebook message. I'd now like to invite Matt Erskine to share a bit about his grandmother, Katharine Forbes Erskine, the namesake of the award being presented today. Matt's grandmother, Katharine, lived to be 102 and twice served as the president of the YWCA's board of directors, first in 1934 and again in 1960 when the YWCA's Salem Square facility was being built. Many of you know the building is currently undergoing a major renovation, the first significant renovation in its 56-year history. Matt?
Thank you, Roberta. One small correction. My grandmother lived to be 100 rather than 102, but she was born in Westboro, Mass. In 1889 and moved to Worcester in 1898. She attended the first classes of Bancroft School, which at that time was on Elm Street, from 1900 to 1907. And from 1907 to 1911, she attended Vassar College. She traveled in Europe after that, and this is a picture of her graduating from Vassar. It goes without saying that red ties go in the family. She traveled to Europe and then enrolled at Wellesley College Graduate Program in Physical Education. And from 1914 to 1918, she taught physical education at the University of Wisconsin. In 1912, she was started on her path of leadership in regards to social causes when she and several of her friends who were college graduates were ejected from Mechanics Hall where she was going to be seeing a speech by Teddy Roosevelt in the progressive ticket, because after all, women didn't vote. She became a suffragette, and after the women were given the vote in 1920, she was a charter member of the League of Women Voters of the Worcester area. She married in 1918 and had 4 children. And in the 1920s, she first was president of the YWCA. And then in the 1940s, during the shortage of men being available, she took courses at the Fanning Trade School and became the manager of the Arter Machine Tool Company, making fuses for aerial bombs during the Second World War. She was ran for and won election in 1948 to this Worcester School Committee. The purpose of her running and being on that committee was to reverse the policy at that time, which said that if you were a woman and you were a teacher and you got married, you were immediately fired because, after all, you're taking a good job from a man. She continued to fight for women's rights and became the president of the YWCA in the 1960s when they renovated it. And this is a picture of her in the 1960s. And I don't know that they have them anymore, but she's got a YWCA pin. She then was active in a number of organizations, including the Y, and went on to form 2 organizations within the Y. One was a swimming group for older women, which was called the Nereids, and the other was the Dialogue Group, which was a group of women who got together on a weekly or a monthly basis, I should say. And this is a much younger me and my grandmother at the age of 90. This was where she would have her dialogue meetings in the summer, which is her summer house in Paxton. The dialogue groups were, and this is her during one of those dialogue groups, also in 1980. She continued to live in her own apartment up until about 2 weeks before her death at the age of 100 in 1990. She, I think, probably the most memorable event of the last year of her life was the fact that she had, among other things, an enormous birthday cake at the YWCA. It is, I think, my family's pleasure to be able to be associated with all of the recipients, in particular this year's recipients, and to see the YWCA move through advocacy towards a dealing with racism and injustice in the world more broadly than perhaps the focus was 100 years ago. Thank you, Roberta, for allowing me to speak, and I hope that it was informative.
Thank you, Matt. It was. Every time I hear you speak of your grandmother, I hear something new that completely astonishes me, both for the time that she lived in, her age. My apologies for making her 2 years older than she was, though I bet she would have earned those years having been the YWCA president twice. But she's an amazing woman. And Matt and I are neighbors in Paxton. We live just a few houses down from each other. And I would truly have enjoyed those dialogue sessions on her front lawn of her summer home if I had been there at the time. But my loss, absolutely. So with that, without further ado, we are here for 5 amazing women. So I would like to turn the program over to Charlene Nemeth, who is the chair of this year's selection committee and who will be introducing all of the awardees.
The 2020 Katharine Forbes Erskine Award in Arts and Culture goes to Joy Murrieta. By combining her love of the arts, her passion for enriching the lives of youth, and her drive to have a lasting impact on the Worcester community, Joy Murrieta has become a rising star among Worcester's nonprofit arts and culture leaders. As executive director of Main Idea, a nonprofit youth and arts organization which she co-founded in 2011, Joy is committed to giving youth in under-resourced communities access to the arts. As a youth, Joy was afforded a similar opportunity, and she says the experience shaped her into the person she is today. What began as a volunteer project to meet a community need, Main Idea has become a 501c3 organization under Joy's leadership, providing free arts programming to hundreds of youth annually in Worcester's Main South neighborhood. Joy graduated from college with a degree in music performance. She started her career as a music teacher at Worcester Music Academy, teaching voice, piano, and guitar to children. She co-founded many of the Academy's performance groups, including the youth rock bands, girls a cappella group, and sing and play classes. Joy is also an established solo artist, having performed throughout Worcester County since 2011. In recognition of her work as a community leader, Joy recently received the 2020 Nonprofit Excellence Award in the Young Professional category by the Massachusetts Nonprofit Network. She was named one of the 2007's People to Watch by Pulse magazine and was listed as one of the Worcester Business Journal's 2017 40 Under 40 recipients. Joy is a current member of the Young Professional Women's Association of Worcester and serves as a board member for the Women in Development of Central Massachusetts and the Worcester Cultural Coalition. For her professional achievements, contributions to the community, and her commitment to eliminating racism and empowering women, the YWCA of Central Massachusetts is proud to present the Katharine F. Erskine Award in Arts and Culture to Joy Murrieta.
So I think I talked about glitches earlier on. Andy, if there's any way to get Joy back, we would love to hear from her. If not, we're going to keep going. I believe business and law is next.
The 2020 Katharine F. Erskine Award in Business and Law goes to Chantel Bethia. Helping women and girls, especially those that look like her, is Chantel Bethia's passion and her life's work. As the founder and CEO of Women in Action, Inc., Chantel is committed to uplifting the lives of women in her community. Her nominator calls her a champion of social justice. She works to raise awareness of the intersections of race, gender identity, sexual orientation, and ability status in everything she does, and advocates equally for those who do not sit at the tables where decisions are made. She is a member of the Worcester Head Start Policy Council, the Board of Directors of RCAP Solutions, the Investing in Girls Alliance Steering Committee, and the Racial Justice and Gender Equity Task Force of the YWCA Central Massachusetts. Chantel is also a member of the Worcester Women's History Project and an appointed member of the Worcester Public Library's Board of Directors. She is immediate past president of the Worcester County Commission on the Status of Women. Chantel recently received the Black Excellence on the Hill Award from the Massachusetts Black and Latino Legislative Caucus. In addition, she was named an unsung heroine by the Massachusetts Commission on the Status of Women, a hometown hero by Worcester Magazine, and was the recipient of the 40 Under 40 Award by the Worcester Business Journal. In addition to all of her professional and community work, Chantel manages to find the time to be an active and engaged mother of 4 children, always ready to provide them with opportunities to lead. As another nominator states, she lives her faith, she gives unconditionally, she leads tirelessly, and she loves without limits. For her professional achievements, contributions to the community, and her commitment to eliminating racism and empowering women. The YWCA of Central Massachusetts is proud to present the Katharine F. Erskine Award in Business and Law to Chantal Bethia.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm extremely honored to be receiving such a prestigious award, the 2020 Erskine Award. I'm grateful for the recognition I've received for my work, because I'm very sure that every other nominee for this award was capable, if not more, of winning this award. I have faced several challenges on my way here, but each one of them has only strengthened me to make me the person I am today. A thorough professional who knows exactly what she wants. Someone who sets her eyes on a goal and does not lose sight of it until it's achieved. Success is to be measured not so much by the position that one had reached in life, but by the obstacles in which he or she has overcome while trying to succeed. There are certain qualities that I illustrate that I feel brought me here today as well. Professionalism, the demonstration of potential and capacity to grow under all circumstances, good or bad. I also created a climate in which people were motivated to excel so that they would be more engaged in their work and contributions to their communities. Then I focused on teamwork. But I first demonstrated this on my personal example. I was an intentional learner who concentrated on self-improvement and encouraged it in others. I taught myself to be courageous in taking well-reasoned risks and embracing productive conflict sometimes, showing good judgment and gathering input and investigating strategic goals. But I should tell you that throughout my life, I always meet people who are so inspired, talented, and skilled that I take something from them, of course with their permission. I am always open to new initiatives and new people. So guided by this principle, I always take the best qualities of those around me, friends, family, and apply them to my professional life. Winning this award would not have been possible without the inspiration that I have received from my children and my family and friends, for whom I have the deepest respect and from whom I have derived the strength to challenge myself and perform better at each stage. The children are our link to the future, and they must be nurtured, respected, loved, protected, and educated. I wake up every morning a Black queen, raising a young Black woman and young Black men that will have to work 10 times harder than any other person, and they will still not have the respect they deserve and entitled to because of their beautiful melanin. That is the world we live in, and that is the world I'm changing one step at a time. I started my organization, Women in Action, to empower the everyday woman in developing and achieving her life goals. Over the past few years, we have taken a dual approach to serving our women, both directly and working collaboratively with our community organizations located in the Worcester area, as well as throughout Massachusetts, to better enable advocates to assist our women and create a strengthened networks of strong women. I sincerely thank everyone on the committee and the YWCA Central Massachusetts for helping me reach a stage where I can proudly hold up this award as it marks of my achievement. I also promise to only get better at my work. Thank you. And you know I have to leave you with a quote. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, the passion to reach the stars to change the world. And that is our incredible Harriet Tubman. Thank you.
Thank you again for having me back. Thank you, Chantal, for your empowering words. My apologies for cutting out earlier. I just gave my entire speech to nobody, so I'm glad I had to practice. And I'm relieved, actually, that I didn't have to go first, so thank you, Chantal. I want to say thank you again so much to the YWCA. I'm deeply humbled to receive the 2020 Erskine Award for Arts and Culture. We may be at our own homes this year, but rather at Mechanics Hall, but the YWCA has truly gone above and beyond to honor each award recipient, despite our physical distance apart this year. So thank you. These flowers are from them. They sent one to each of the recipients. That was a nice surprise. I enjoyed a socially distant luncheon with the rest of the recipients a few weeks ago. That was truly the best part of my week. It was so great to simply have lunch with other like-minded women who work tirelessly every day to make a difference in the world, and especially in the Worcester community. So thank you for everything you've done to make this year very special. As I've said, it's truly an honor to receive this award alongside such incredible women, especially some who have led and inspired me, including Jen Safford, who was one of my professors at Clark University, and Chantel, who spoke before, whose children have been part of Main Ideas Arts Program for years. And one of the biggest things I've learned throughout my life's journey so far is that no one makes a difference alone. And to receive this award is a testament not only to my own efforts, but also to those who I've had the privilege to work alongside with, from our devoted teen volunteers and parents, to volunteer staff, to interns, to board members, both past and present, who provide the crucial hands-on work in fulfilling Main Ideas' mission to empower youth through the arts. And to the many inspiring community leaders in Worcester, including all these powerhouses that I have the honor of receiving an award alongside, to make a profound and positive difference. So thank you for all that you've done and continue to do to make our community beautiful and outstanding. Thank you.
The 2020 Katharine Forbes Erskine Award in Community, Social Service, and Government goes to Cindy Purcell. Life as Cindy Purcell knew it was altered forever when she suffered a spinal cord injury at 18. Not willing to let her circumstances determine her future, she found new meaning and purpose with optimism, courage, and dogged determination. Today, Cindy leads a full life as a wife, mother, rehabilitation counselor, educator, and advocate for those living with disabilities. Cindy graduated from Mount Wachusett Community College with a degree in human services. She has worked in the field of vocational rehabilitation and independent living for the past 30 years. She's a contributing author to Our Bodies, Ourselves, and Disabilities and Families. She and her family were interviewed and provided material for Spinal Cord Injury and Parenting, a book authored by Saul Wisner and Dr. Michelle Alpert. She was also featured on ABC's 2020 and Amazing Families television programs. Cindy is a disability rights advocate. She makes numerous public appearances annually to educate the public on disability awareness. She also has presented at national conferences and educates students and medical professionals on disability issues at hospitals, colleges, and universities, including UMass Medical School, Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital, Harvard Medical School, Boston University, and other organizations throughout New England. She volunteers at several community agencies, including Center for Living and Working, the YWCA, serves as a member of District Attorney Joseph Early's Opioid Task Force, and the Freedom Forward Reentry Program with the Worcester County Sheriff's Department. She also serves as a member of Worcester Community Connections Council's Advisory Board and Worcester Economic Mobility Task Force, and is her town's ADA coordinator. For her professional achievements, contributions to the community, and her commitment to eliminating racism and empowering women, the YWCA of Central Massachusetts is proud to present the Katharine Forbes Erskine Award in Community, Social Service, and Government to Cindy Purcell.
Thank you, Charlene. Thank you so much. Good afternoon. First of all, I'd like to say how honored and humbled I am to receive the Katharine F. Erskine Award for Community, Social Service, and Government. I have so much respect and admiration for the past recipients, who are remarkable women who give so much to the community. I am truly in awe to be included amongst them. It seems incredible to me to receive this award for doing my job. In my position as a vocational counselor for Mass Rehab Commission, I work with many different people with different disabilities. These disabilities include physical, mental health, substance abuse, and many more. These consumers come from many different backgrounds, with many different stories, many of which are not pretty. In helping these consumers and hearing their stories, you really get to know them, and it's a privilege be able to help them devise and implement their plans and goals. In doing so, we assist them with many different services, including ongoing counseling and guidance, support, training, education, and job placement. During this process, I believe the most important thing we do for them to help them achieve these goals, to be self-sufficient and successful, is to help them believe in themselves, have understanding, compassion, show kindness, encouragement, and let them know that we believe in them. I cannot tell you how rewarding it is to see them succeed. I know what they're saying is true because I myself was an MRC consumer. After my car accident at age 18, that lived with a spinal cord injury, quadriplegic, I was home for 3 years thinking my life was over. What could I do in a wheelchair? Who would want to be around me? Who would hire me? On and on. Fortunately, I was filed with Master Commission and my life began. I had an incredible counselor, Dick Friedman. He was so supportive. When I was fearful, he would encourage me. When I didn't believe in myself, he believed in me. Helped me to devise a plan that I could achieve. Helped me with college training. Helped me realize drive was a possibility, which was. Helped me to realize that my life could begin. I truly believe that if it wasn't for Dick Friedman and Mass Rehab Commission, I don't know where I'd be today. That's why I do what I do. I want to give back what's given to me. As part of my journey, I had the privilege and opportunity to get involved in many different organizations because I believe in their missions, what they stand for, the work they do. And because of that, I want to be a part of helping them accomplish their mission. From doing education about spinal cord injury and the daily complexities it presents, awareness about spinal cord injury and daily complications, awareness about substance abuse and ending the stigma attached to individuals with addiction issues, to help individuals that have been incarcerated re-enter into society with a vision for a better path, to help those with physical disabilities achieve maximum independence, to educate caseworkers to help their clients achieve self-sufficiency, to advocate for individuals with mental health issues, and work to end common misconceptions. And of course, work with the YWCA to help eliminate racism, empower women, and promote peace, justice, and freedom and dignity for all. And yet, for all that I do with these organizations, I only give a small part of the immense value these organizations provide. So once again, I humbly and graciously accept this award, and I want to thank my boss, Ellen Spencer, for nominating me, for continued support and encouragement, and for putting up with my feistiness. I also want to thank my husband, Ted, and son, Tanner, for the constant support and putting up with my many impassioned rants about social justice causes. I love you. I know that if Katharine F. Erskine were here today with us, she would be leading us in our continued fight for social equity. I would like to leave you with some words that have resonated with me since my 8th grade graduation. And if our back should ever be against the wall, we'll be together. Together, you and I. For united we stand, divided we fall. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cindy, Joy, Chantel. Beautiful words from beautiful women. I've just noticed the comment section on the side of my screen. I don't feel so alone anymore. Thank you all for the comments to the YWCA, for the donations to the YWCA, for the comments to our award recipients. Thank you so much. I now feel like I'm in a room with all of you, but I'm not eating lunch, but I'll get over that. We're going to finish with our awards right after we hear from Linda Cavioli, who's been waiting impatiently, I'm sure, to talk with you all about the YWCA and provide you with some critical updates. I just want to give a quick thank you to Linda for her mentorship to me and to many. As you know, she's retiring next year. We will miss her tremendously, but she will remind me that she's not dead, she's just retiring, but she is a true friend, an inspiration, and if a diminutive Italian woman can make the difference that she's made, I think we can all do the same. So with that, I leave you with Linda Cavioli.
Thank you, Roberta. As I sit in WBDC's conference room, rather than in my dining room with my family flying around me, I am already so moved by Joy, Chantel, and Cindy. So two women I know, and Joy, who I've just met. I'm thrilled. Yes, I miss being in Mechanics Hall, but to be able to see you all is just wonderful. So before I talk a little bit more about the YWCA, I would love to show you this video montage. Thank you to Sophie and Gina for putting it together. Wasn't that awesome? Those images are people and recipients and staff from our programs and services, from domestic violence to girls' leadership development, transitional housing, and early education and care. Every day there are successes, large and small, individuals engaged in YWCA experiences. Next month, the YWCA turns 135 years old on October 26th. We were born in 1885. And since then, we've worked to empower and advance the lives of women and girls. The YWCA was the first organization of its kind to have an interracial charter in 1946, and in 1970 adopt as a key component to its mission. The YWCA will thrust its collective power to eliminate racism wherever it exists by any means necessary. A great and bold step for fearless leaders of the time. The YWCA has been at the forefront of the most pressing social movements for the past 135 years, from voting rights to civil rights, affordable housing to quality early education and care, from violence prevention to healthcare reform. Our community counts on the YWCA as a leader of social change, as well as a partner to meet direct and immediate needs. I'm proud to say that even during the COVID shutdown, the YWCA continued to provide crucial services to survivors of domestic violence, maintained our residential services. We provided emergency childcare for essential workers and maintained ongoing emotional support through families through Zoom. As Roberta mentioned earlier in the program, the Tribute to Women is one of our largest fundraising events. Today, it's my job to encourage you to make a donation that supports our work. This year, we aren't asking you to fund a specific need. We aren't fund a specific program, but we are asking you to consider supporting racial justice and bias awareness workshops, to help us purchase Chromebooks and hotspots so our participants can take part in remote programming during this pandemic, to PPE supplies for childcare and our frontline staff, or a bag of groceries for an individual or family struggling to put food on the table. You need to do as Roberta said, and I'm not the technological queen, is open your camera app on your phone and hold it up to the QR code that appears on the screen. Once the URL appears, tap and link the icon, and it clicks on, and it brings you to make a gift to the YWCA that is meaningful for you. Whatever amount you choose to give, you know it will make a difference. The Tribute to Women serves two significant purposes: provide crucial funding to support the YWCA's programs and initiatives, and equally important is to recognize these strong, visionary women who show up in our communities and tirelessly and endlessly give of themselves in order to make a difference. You met 3 of these remarkable women, and now you'll meet 2 more. These women are business owners, teachers, doctors, community activists, CEOs. They serve on boards and volunteer. What they all have in common is making our community a stronger, better, safer, more just place for all. And for that, we say thank you. It's now time to recognize our last 2 awardees. Charlene?
The 2020 Katharine Forbes Erskine Award in Education goes to Jennifer Safford. Hero, social justice warrior, always an educator, and a supporter for our community's youth. That's how Jennifer Safford's nominator described her. Jennifer has been an adjunct professor in the Community Development and Planning Department at Clark University since 2012. She currently holds the position of Director of Operations and Outreach for the Collaborative for Youth and Community Justice at Clark. She is also a senior instructor in the Department of Graduate and Continuing Education, an adjunct faculty member in the Health Sciences Department at Worcester State University. Jen has achieved distinction throughout her authentic, deep commitment to racial justice and equitable youth development. Her voice and work have been instrumental in keeping difficult but necessary dialogues front and center within the Worcester Youth Violence Prevention Initiative, including unconscious bias, structural justice, and institutional racism. As a professional trainer and consultant, Jen works with nonprofit organizations, schools, and youth-serving agencies. She educates the larger community about high-risk and gang-involved youth and works to change the narrative we often hear about them. Her nominator says, Jen speaks with empathy and love about a group of young people most would prefer not to have to engage. Because of her, their voices are now part of the governance structure of the Worcester Youth Violence Prevention Initiative. Jen has been contributing to her community since she was in high school. She is a member of the planning and governance teams of the Worcester Youth Violence Initiative, a member of the Board of Trustees for Seven Hills Charter Public School, and a member of the Board of Directors for Worcester PIF, Inc. For her professional achievements, contributions to the community, and her commitment to eliminating racism and empowering women, the YWCA of Central Massachusetts is proud to present the Katharine Forbes Erskine Award in Education to Jennifer Safford.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the recognition and the honor to stand among the many amazing Erskine winners of past and present. I want to start by thanking and congratulating Chantel, Joy, Linda, and Cindy. I feel blessed to be a 2020 Erskine recipient and in the same cohort with these women. I'm truly honored to be chosen for this award. I have an amazing group of women who were behind my nomination, and I want to thank them for the bottom of my heart for being a consistent support in my life. I've been blessed to have strong women beside me who have shown me love, support, and guidance that has allowed me to continue to move forward on my journey. These women have helped me find and use my voice to speak to issues of race, power, and injustice. I consider myself lucky because I truly love what I do. I get to educate college students, train youth workers, support outreach workers, and engage in projects that seek to reduce disparities and create equity in my community. As a Black woman, I often get to be the first Black professor that my college students have ever had. The ability to have your presence be a first in their life is both an amazing opportunity and a heavy responsibility. I accept this award for my 3 children. They inspire my integrity and constant fight to make things better for them. It is both an honor and a challenge to continue to rise up and bring other women with me. My last acknowledgement is my praise for the YWCA, particularly under the leadership of my sweet Linda Cavioli. I choose to close with a quote by writer, feminist, and civil rights activist Audre Lorde that spoke to me, but also feels symbolic of my feelings toward the YWCA. Audre Lorde said, "Sometimes we are blessed with being able to choose the time and the arena and the manner of our revolution. But more usually, we must do battle where we are standing." Thank you, YWCA, for leading the battle on so many fronts. Thank you, Worcester, for your support. The work continues. Thank you very much.
The 2020 Katharine Forbes Erskine Award in Health, Science, and Technology is awarded to Linda Makel. Dr. Linda Makel has led a distinguished 40-year career in general dentistry, having opened her own private practice in downtown Worcester on receiving her Doctor of Dental Surgery degree from Northwestern University in 1978. During her first 3 years of practice, Linda also served as a clinical instructor in Quinsigamond Community College's dental hygiene clinic. She has remained committed over the years to providing learning opportunities for young people interested in pursuing careers in dental hygiene and dentistry, including internships for countless dental students. Dr. Makel is an active community member and volunteers for Quinsigamond Community College's Kid Seal program, which provides free clinical services, including screenings, fluoride treatments, and oral health education to underserved children in Worcester's elementary schools. She has also provided her services pro bono over the years to many of the women living in the YWCA's shelter and housing programs who lacked insurance and the ability to pay for treatment. Currently, Dr. Makel serves as president of the QCC Foundation Board of Directors. She is a member of the Worcester District Dental Society, the Massachusetts Dental Society, the American Association of Women Dentists, and the American Heart Association, to name a few. She is also a paid volunteer at the VNA's Rose Monahan Hospice Home. Linda previously served as a member and president of the YWCA's Board of Directors. For her professional achievements, contributions to the community, and her commitment to eliminating racism and empowering women, the YWCA Central Massachusetts is proud to present the Katharine Forbes Erskine Award in Health, Science, and Technology to Dr. Linda
Let me
Makel.
just say how excited I've been to be part of the YW community over the last 40 years. It's hard to believe it's been so long. They began my career as being a volunteer when I was a new young dentist in town, with being the only full-time woman practitioner having her own practice. And from their wonderful support for me as a young woman, I have been working at various volunteer opportunities all over the city. And presently, I'm president of the QCC Foundation, and we're running a food pantry because boy, do we need it in this time of this pandemic. And just as a closing, my message to all of you in this difficult period is we need you more than ever. Play in the traffic, start some good trouble. You've got one precious life and make it count. And please remember to vote. Thank you so much. A nice day to the rest of you. Thank you all. It was just really special.
Well, that was wonderful, wasn't it? 5 incredible women receiving these awards. Thank you all for the beautiful comments and the words. I'm going to turn it back over to Linda Cavioli right now for some closing words. Linda, are you ready to come back on? Linda is not ready to come back on. So I'm just going to emphasize while we are either looking for Linda or waiting for Linda, that we want to certainly encourage all of you to contribute to our fund a need. It's very important, obviously, for our programs that we are able to keep going in this very important year. So we appreciate all that everyone is contributing during this time. The YWCA understands the struggles individual women and girls face. We also know each of us has the ability to make an extraordinary difference in the world around us. We just need to take that first step and open our hearts and show that we care. So with that, with those words, I'm going to let Linda finish our ask for contributions and close us out. Linda, are you?
I think I'm back. I can't believe that I got kicked out of this place. I really am hoping that you join us for the Fund a Need, which you just saw up there. I'm seriously trying to understand what parents are doing as they are home with their children, going to school in the background and trying to work online. But then there are those who cannot afford to stay home, but they have to be on the front line. So who is taking care of their children? So simple contributions of like a $500 gives us an ability to put a Chromebook in a hotspot for our youth, our teens, and even our residents who need that opportunity. And then I know $1,350 is a lot of money, but it really contributes to workshops, 6 hours of workshops around racial justice, awareness, and understanding and education, or simple supplies. I would like to really give my thanks to the recipients, who each one of them I know now, including Joy, but I know in a very different way. We understand the struggles individual women and girls face. We also know that each of us has the ability to make an extraordinary difference. The YWCA is on a mission to prevent domestic violence, promote women's economic advancement and empowerment, stand up for race and gender equity, and support women and families building stronger communities. So again, I hope you can join us in this mission, and the QR code will come up on the screen. And once again, I would like to thank our sponsors, Hanover Insurance, Harvard Pilgrim, National Grid, Penta Communications, and every single individual who joined us today. Now it's time to read the names of the individuals who won the door prizes. And it's awesome that I know all three. Yvette Almeida, who used to work with the YWCA, won the full deluxe health and fitness package. Amy Ebbison, one of our current volunteers, won the personal training. And Senator Ann Goby won the summer camp and splash party. So I want to thank you for being part of today. And on behalf of the thousands of women, children, and families who turn to the YWCA every single day, we are in joint effort with you to root out injustice until we are able to transform systems in our community that see women, girls, and people of color the way we do, equal, powerful, and unstoppable. Thank you all. Congratulations, Chantel and Linda and Joy and Jennifer and Cindy, and thank you for being part of the Erskine 2020 and hopefully 2021. Before I retire, we'll all be in the same room. Have a great day. Thank you.